Hey, I'm the MMA loser and I'm back with another video. And before I start today's video, I would like to tell you guys, I would request you guys to watch this video at 2 times the normal speed or at least at 1.5 times the normal speed because that will save a lot of your time and also it will help you enjoy this video in a much better way. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Today I want to talk about the co-main event of UFC 288 that is between Gilbert Burns and Belal, remember the name Muhammad. Now, both of these fighters have been on a good win streak. They're both doing really well in the welterweight division. So this will probably a probably be a title eliminator. The winner of this fight will probably face the winner between Kobe Covington and Leon Edwards. So let's just look at their records first. Overall, before we look at their records, overall, the welterweight division is doing really good right now. We've got Leon Edwards as the champion, Kamaru Usman is there, Kobe Covington is there, Hamzat Chimaev is at number 3, but apparently he is moving up. Who knows? Shafkat Rakhmonov is at number 6. Again, he's a really dangerous fighter. Then the rest of the people below that, they do not really make a lot of sense to me, except for Jack Della Maddalena. He is the only one guy that I'm really super excited to watch in future. Now let's just look at the record of both Gilbert Burns and Belal Muhammad. First, Gilbert is 36 years old. He has had 22 wins and 5 losses. He is a former Jiu-Jitsu world champion and has one of the best submission games or one of the best jiu-jitsu in UFC. His last 2 fights were against Jorge Masvidal and Neil Magny. He finished Neil Magny in round 1, and of course he dominated Jorge Masvidal for 3 rounds in UFC 287. That was really that just solidifies how good he is as a fighter. But there was not even a competition for him, to be honest. He was winning that fight at all points. He was never in danger. But it was it was Durinho's fight. It was Gilbert's fight against Hamzat Chimaev that made him the star that he is today. Because Gilbert Burns will fight anyone, anywhere, at any time, and he did that against Hamzat Chimaev. He made Hamzat Chimaev look human. Of course, uh, he got rocked, but yet he was able to go 3 rounds with Hamzat Chimaev when everyone was scared to even accept a fight against Hamzat. So that just goes to show that Gilbert has the mentality, Burns has the mentality to win. He has, and when it comes to chaos, he's willing to bite his mouthpiece and just go for war. Just throw hands and not be scared of getting knocked out or not be scared of losing a fight. Because he can crack. He's got really powerful hands. Because he even got a knockdown against Kamaru Usman, if I'm not wrong, in their first round. And he of course rocked Hamzat Chimaev, which is not an easy task to do. Then he won against Stephen Thompson, Tyron Woodley, Damian Maia, Gunnar Nelson, and a lot of other fighters. He also lost against Dan Hooker, which was at lightweight. That was, I think, his last fight at lightweight, if I'm not wrong. After that, he moved up to welterweight, and since then, he has only lost 2 times, and once against the former champion Kamaru Usman, and the second time was against Hamzat Chimaev. Now, let us look at the record of Belal. Remember the name Muhammad, and Belal Muhammad has been on a really good win streak. He has been on, I think, 8 fight win streak, and also, of course, he had a no contest against Leon Edwards because of an accidental eye poke. But apart from that, he has won most of his fights by decision. He had a submission win against Takashi Sato. But apart from that, his only TKO win was against Sean Brady. Now, Sean Brady was undefeated, so props to Belal because he defeated Sean Brady, and he, I think, was training with Team Habib that back then, and that was in Abu Dhabi. So apart from that, Belal is one of those fighters who, according to a lot of people, is boring, but I don't think he is necessarily boring. His fighting style is more meta. He's just he will he's not one of those fighters who's trying to finish the fight, He wants to take the fight to the ground and ground and pound. You're not even ground and pound. He would just make it one of like he will drag the fight. He will just put pressure on you on the ground, and he will finish. He does not finish the fight, but he wins unanimous decision. Mostly that is what he does, except for that Sean Brady fight where he landed TKO Sean Brady. Now the thing with Sean Brady is that Sean Brady is one of those guys who had really really bad boxing. Sean Brady probably does not strike. He does not know how to strike. I don't mean he does not know how to strike as a layman, but as a fighter, his striking is really really bad. That is what I'm trying to say. He's not at the level of someone like Usman or Burns or Hamzat or even Belal or even Thompson. His striking is not really that good. It was just his grappling that he would just take you down and grind out a decision or choke you. That is what Brady does. But that did not work against Belal, because Belal himself is also a good wrestler. I would not put him out there with I would not put Belal out there with Usman or Covington or Hamzat, but he has good wrestling compared to all the other guys, to all compared to all the other fighters. Now, is his wrestling good enough to keep Burns on the ground? That is debatable, because Usman, who is arguably the best wrestler at welterweight, considering that he was the champion for a very long time, had multiple title defenses, he did not want to go to the ground with Burns, just like uh, Hamzat. Even though Hamzat dominates everybody on the ground, but Hamzat decided not to go to the ground with Burns. So I wonder if Balal would try to take the fight to the ground. I don't think he wants to be in a position where he is in a submission battle trying for positions with Burns, because that is Burns. That is where Burns shines the most. That, and also when it comes to Rock and Sock and Robertson throwing punches to try to knock you out, because Burns definitely has more power in the hands. But I think endurance wise and stamina wise, Balal is better. Balal has that ability to just pace himself the right way and fight with the same intensity till the fifth round. He did that against Vincente Luque, but it's not just his striking. It was more of his wrestling, where it takes you where, because of the threat of the takedown, you're not trying to engage with him like you do with a striker. Because if you try to overextend yourself, or you try to throw a kick and it does not land, he'll try to take you down, and he will take you down. But can he do that against someone like Burns? That is the real question. And will Burns uh, take that bait? Will Burns go to the ground and lose and just give up position on the ground? I do not see Burns doing that. Overall, they're both good fighters. They're both doing well. The slight advantage that I think that Bilal has over Burns is his endurance and his on the and also the fact that he has done more 5 round fights than I think Burns. I'll have to check that again, but he I think went for I think yes, he won 5 rounds again. He went 5 rounds against Vincente Luque. He won, but apart from that, he has had like mostly 3 round fights. So I don't think that'll be but I don't think Balal ever has had any like 5 round fights. His only 5 round fight was against Vincente Luque, and of course he lost against who else? He was supposed to go 5 rounds against Leon Edwards, but of course that fight did not go 5 rounds because of the eye poke. Now, if we look at Burns, Burns also has never really gone 5 rounds in his like once. Yeah, he went 5 rounds against Tyron Woodley. So they both have went. They both have fought 5 rounds only once in their entire career, and both of these fighters have fought more than 25 times uh in their career. And Burns went 3 rounds with Hamzat Chimaev. That kind of says more about that is a bigger props than I think going 5 rounds or 3 rounds against someone like Wonderboy. No doubt Wonderboy is a great fighter. I love Wonderboy, but if you have grappling, then you can win against Wonderboy. The only time Wonder Boy is dangerous when he's striking with you. I love Wonder Boy more than anybody. I think he's one of my favorite fighters out there. But it's just that if you take him down, he does not have answers to your submission or your uh, wrestling. Like wrestling is the kryptonite to Wonder Boy. Wrestling is pretty much the kryptonite to all good kickboxers. And but Burns went 3 rounds with Hamzat Chimaev, which is great because Hamzat is also again a great wrestler, has really good power in his hands, and even got rocked by Burns. So I think Burns has an advantage when it comes to just the grit. He does not quit, and hopefully we get to see a good fight between Belal and Burns. I want to see this fight go. This will be a 5 round fight, so it will depend on who has better pace, because I feel like the reason why Gilbert lost against Usman was because he did not pace himself. He hurt Usman in round one and went heavy on the shots, tried to finish him in the first round, could not get the finish. He was tired by round two. He got even tired, even more tired. By round three, he was in a position where Usman was ahead of him because of his uh, cardio, endurance, stamina, whatever you would like to call, and he just won that fight by finishing Burns in round three. I think it was in round three, yeah. Just at the beginning of round three. So that's how tired Burns was. So Burns definitely has an issue when it comes to stamina, but he did look good against Jorge for 3 rounds. He did not look really that. I would say he did not look really bad against Jorge. He looked very good, but he was not exactly that tired. But now it depends on how he approaches this fight. If he tries to take the first 2 rounds slow and probably start pressing from round three, four, and five, or maybe he'll just. I hope he does not come out guns blazing like he did against Usman, and ends up wasting all his energy trying to get a finish. And if he gets a finish in round one, that's really good. That will definitely give him the next title shot guaranteed. But if he cannot get the finish, then Balal will probably force a decision win out of him. Balal will get a decision win. Can Balal finish him? Maybe. There is always a possibility because this is UFC and there is always a possibility. But I think when it comes to striking, I think Barnes has more power, but Balal throws more volume. I won't say Balal is a very good boxer or anything like that, but he moves left and right, whereas Gilbert is on your face trying to pressure you. That is where they are both really different. And the thing is that I have not watched that many Belal Muhammad fights on live because I don't have access to wherever they show. I just buy the pay-per-view and I end up watching the main card. Mostly I watch the main card. So the only Belal Muhammad fight that I've watched live was against Vincente Luque, and where he looked really good. He was able to dominate Luque. Luque was not able to land his punches or his combinations, whereas Belal was moving side to side. He was in and out, and he was landing more takedowns, and he was dominating the fight on the ground. That's how he won the unanimous decision. But I've watched Barnes live a number of times. I've watched him live against Hamzat. I've watched him live against Woodley. I've probably watched him live against, of course, Masvidal and Magny. And in the Magny fight, that was probably the best tutorial for Jiu-Jitsu, where Magny had no answer at any point of time, and he just moved from one position to the other very, uh, I would say, in a methodical manner, and just finished the fight in round one. And against Jorge Masvidal, of course, he had a few moments where he got punched a few times, maybe because he was trying to play a little bit. I hope he does not do that against Balal because Balal will capitalize where Jorge did not. And that was because that was Jorge's last fight and he just wanted to have a good time. But that's not the case with Balal because if he defeats Balal, then he's getting a title shot. And I hope both Balal and Burns, they take this fight seriously and we get to see a fight where they're both trying to wrestle, both trying to grapple and strike at the same time. And I do not have, I guess that's it about this fight. You guys write me in the comments and tell me who you think is going to win between Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. Do write me your predictions. And if you enjoyed the video, then drop a like. and share the video, and please subscribe to my channel. I have very few subscribers. Peace out.